Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC Digital Library. Welcome to the complete course on ancient Indian history. Today we will talk about chapter 4, that is Jainism and Buddhism. So far we have seen the Rig Vedic era and the later Vedic era. Now we will try to analyze that what went wrong or why a few people were not happy in those period, because of which these two new religions emerged out. So let's get started. Now before I start, let me clear this right now that initially I started teaching in Hindi. So a few people were complaining that please teach in English because we are not able to understand. देन आई स्टार्टेड टीचिंग इन इंग्लिश और कुछ लोगों ने ये कंप्लेन की कि हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन करें. नाउ फ्रॉम दिस चैप्टर ऑनवर्ड्स I am going to explain in both Hindi and English. So let's say when any slide comes up, I will explain that in English and I will also explain in Hindi. जो भी slide आएगी उसको मैं English के साथ साथ हिंदी में भी explain करूंगा. Now after that, please don't write such kind of messages that only explain in English or only explain in Hindi. Come on, please don't. This is not a competition going on. ये कोई competition नहीं चल रहा है. At the end of the day, what matters is you all should understand the concepts, you all should understand the chronology, and you should be able to retain it during the actual examination. So let's get started. Now, during the 6th century BC, that is around 600 BC, now you all know that 1000 BC to 6000 BC was the time for the later Vedic period. 1000 BC से 600 BC तक ये later Vedic काल का समय था. And this 6th century BC is a wonderful time. ये बहुत अच्छा समय था. Why? Because great thinkers were born in these times which have preached their ideas. इस समय बहुत महान philosophers और thinkers का जन्म हुआ था जिन्होंने हमें बहुत कुछ सिखा दिया. Some of the examples are Gautam Buddha, Mahavira, Zoroaster, Confucius, Lao Tse. Now, in this chapter, we will study only about Gautam Buddha and Mahavira because both of them were born in India. ये अनेक आपको thinkers के बारे में सुनने के लिए मिलेगा 600 सेंचुरी में, 6th सेंचुरी में और 600 BC में. इसमें से हम इस चैप्टर में गौतम बुद्धा और महावीरा के बारे में पढ़ेंगे क्योंकि इन दोनों का जन्म भारत में हुआ था. Now you guys must know that during the later Vedic period, the priest supremacy was increasing. The priest supremacy was increasing, and that era was dominated by rites and rituals. ये वो समय था लेटर वैदिक पीरियड का जिस समय प्रीस्ट और ब्राह्मण्स का दबदबा बढ़ रहा था और अनेक प्रकार के रीति रिवाज और रिचुअल्स को बढ़ावा मिल रहा था. नाउ उस टाइम पर जो सिस्टम चल रहा था, दैट टाइम द थिंग व्हाट वाज गोइंग ऑन वाज नोन एज ऑर्थोडॉक्स रिलीजन. Orthodox is when you believe in something. Let's say you are born and your parents tell you that this is how what we believe and you have to follow it, and you don't question them, you simply start following it. Whereas there were a few sections of the society, कुछ लोग ऐसे भी थे हमारे देश में whose way of thinking was heterodox. That means they were very rational and logical. They wanted to know answers of everything before accepting it. किसी चीज को मानने से पहले, किसी भी रीति रिवाज को मानने से पहले उन्हें उनका जवाब चाहिए था कि हम उसको क्यों माने, एंड देन दे वेयर रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट इट. नाउ the rites and rituals during later Vedic period were very elaborate and very difficult and were in a language known as Sanskrit. अभी की ही हम बात करें तो हमारा लिटरेसी रेट इतना कम है. Our literacy rate is not very good. So during that time, do you think everybody must be aware about Sanskrit? आज ही के टाइम में देख लो कितने लोगों को संस्कृत आती है, या कितने लोगों की हिंदी बहुत अच्छी है, या कितने लोगों की इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छी है. इवन राइट नाउ इफ यू सी हाउ मेनी पीपल आर वेल वर्स्ड इन संस्कृत, हाउ मेनी पीपल आर having a profound command over language Hindi or English. So do you think in that time when the literacy rate was so less, everybody would be aware about Sanskrit? So everybody was not happening happy with what was happening that time. So it is during the 6th century BC, during that time frame, you can say, not precisely talking about any date, that these two religions emerged out. मतलब मैं कोई स्पेसिफिकली डेट की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, ये उस समय की बात कर रहा हूं जब लोगों को का विश्वास या मन उठने लग गया था, when people starting to get fed up or got confused with the rites and rituals. It is during that time when these religions started to emerge out. Now, please, I am not at all speaking against Hinduism. I am not speaking in favor of Buddhism or Jainism. I am teaching you ancient Indian history. Also, please do not take this in political way. If you are preparing for UPSC, you may have any political affiliation, but when you become an administrator, always remember you have to be apolitical, or else your life will become hell. When one political party will come and if you are supporting it, you will be happy. When the other political party will come and start ruling after 5 years, they will make your life hell. And at the end of the day, what is your ultimate goal? Your ultimate goal is to serve the society. You will not be able to do that. ऑल राइट, लेट्स कंटिन्यू. ऐसे क्या कारण थे कि जैनिज्म और बुद्धिज्म बढ़ने लग गया था? व्हाट वाज द कॉजेस दैट जैनिज्म एंड बुद्धिज्म स्टार्टेड टू राइज इन आवर कंट्री? As I have already told you, the prime cause was the religious unrest in India because of the priest supremacy, the Brahmin supremacy in the 6th century BC. हमारे देश में धार्मिक उथल पुथल हो गई थी. ब्राह्मणों ने अपना सर्वोच्च स्थापित कर लिया था. वह अपने हिसाब से ये देश में नए नियम बना रहे थे कि आपको ये रिचुअल्स बनाने पड़ेंगे. कास्ट सिस्टम बिकेम प्रेलिवेंट कि अगर आप शूद्र हैं या वैश्य हैं तो आपको क्षत्रिय और ब्राह्मण्स की सेवा ही करनी है. इफ यू बिलोंग टू शूद्रस और वैश्य, you have to serve kshatriyas and brahmins, and people were not ready to accept these complex rituals and sacrifices. लोग इन complex rituals और sacrifices को accept करने के लिए तैयार नहीं थे during the later Vedic period. If you are not understanding this chapter, please don't start watching ancient Indian history from this chapter. Start from introduction to ancient Indian history and watch the chapters in the right chronology to understand. आप चैप्टर को सही क्रम में देखें, तभी आपको ये कहानी समझ में आएगी. मोर ओवर, लेट्स से इफ एनीबडी वांट्स टू गो फॉर एनी रिचुअल और सेक्रीफाइस, अगर कोई रिचुअल और सेक्रीफाइस के लिए जाना भी चाहे, दे फाउंड आउट दैट इट वेयर टू एक्सपेंसिव. द प्रीस्ट एंड द ब्राह्मण्स वेर डिमांडिंग अ लॉट ऑफ मनी, सो इट वाज बिकमिंग एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम टू अफोर्ड दैट. Moreover, these superstitious beliefs and mantras, they confuse the people because ये मंत्रों का उच्चारण तो संस्कृत में था. These mantras, hymns, they were mostly in Sanskrit, and people were not able to understand that. Moreover, an alternate system of teaching came up, that is Upanishad, which is also known as the philosophy of Hinduism, which was highly philosophical in nature, which was alternative to system of sacrifices. Now in Upanishad में क्या था? They used to talk about soul यानी आत्मा. They used to talk about what is the purpose of life. But all these things were not easily understood by all. Today also, when we talk about philosophy, or let's say we talk about any humor, or let's say we talk about sarcasm, not everybody can digest that or understand that. It was difficult during that time that people will understand those things. इसलिए ये philosophy भी उतनी successful नहीं हो रही थी. This philosophy was also not that much successful. So what was the need of the time? The need was of the time was that somebody to come forward and explain to them in their own language, in a simple way, in a short way, in an intelligent way, how they can get salvation उनको मुक्ति कैसे मिल सकती है, जीवन का सार क्या है, व्हाट इज द समरी ऑफ लाइफ, अगर if anybody can come and teach in their own language. And this need was fulfilled by the teachings of Buddha and Mahavira. I hope this point is clear. Let's continue. They, apart from these religious factors, ये धार्मिक कारणों के अलावा there were other reasons also. There were economic reasons, पैसे के कारण भी थे. There were social reasons also. Now understand this. Now, during the later Vedic period, the caste system was very rigid. Caste system बहुत rigid था. ब्राह्मण सबसे ऊपर थे, फिर क्षत्रिय थे, उसके बाद वैश्य थे और सबसे नीचे शूद्र थे. This caste system was so rigid कि हायर क्लासेस जो उस समय की थी ऊपर की दो, दे डिनाइड सर्टेन प्रिविलेजेस टू लोअर क्लासेस. नीचे की क्लासेस को इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट, सच एज एंट्री इनटू टेंपल्स, टेकिंग वाटर फ्रॉम द सेम वेल और लिविंग अलोंग विद देम, टचिंग देम वाज डिनाइड. ये सब चीजें मना थी. उनको छूना, एक ही कुएं से पानी लेना, मंदिर में प्रवेश, बिकॉज ऑफ विच सोशली ऑल्सो दे वेर वेरी वेरी डिसअपॉइंटेड. मोर ओवर, नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड, क्षत्रिय भी बहुत खुश नहीं थे. क्यों? क्योंकि वही तो लड़ते थे. दे वेर द रूरल क्लास, दे वेर द किंग्स, बट दे हैव टू बी बिलो द प्रीस्ट, एंड सम ऑफ द क्षत्रिय किंग्स वेर नॉट हैप्पी विद दिस. But always remember that the Buddha and Mahavira who will come forward, both of them belong to the Kshatriya. जो बुद्धा और महावीरा जिनके बारे में अभी हम आगे देखेंगे, वो दोनों क्षत्रिय क्लैन को बिलोंग करते थे. One more important thing was, when I talk about this Varn system and I talk about Vaishya, which were the merchant class or the business class, remember ये जो वैश्य थे, they used to do a lot of trading and business. Their economic conditions grew, उनके पास पैसा तो बहुत आ गया, but their social status was not improving. उनकी उनकी ये जो social status था वो नहीं बढ़ रहा था, क्योंकि वर्ण सिस्टम के कारण उनको हमेशा क्षत्रिय और ब्राह्मण्स के नीचे ही देखा जाता था. Even if they earned a lot of money, they were seen below Kshatriyas and the Brahmins, and they were the majority of people who extended their support to Buddhism and Jainism. इसीलिए इन लोगों ने बुद्धिज्म और जैनिज्म को बहुत सपोर्ट किया. I hope this is clear to all of you. All right. Now let us start with Jainism. One more thing, please remember that both Jainism and Buddhism were contemporary to each other. What is the meaning of this term contemporary? कंटेम्पोरेरी मतलब ये एक ही समय के दो अलग अलग फिलोसफिकल या प्रीचर थे. ये एक ही समय में घूम रहे थे और लोगों को ज्ञान बांट रहे थे. कंटेम्पोरेरी का मतलब होता है, उदाहरण के लिए जैसे भगत सिंह और सुखदेव, ये कंटेम्पोरेरी फ्रीडम फाइटर्स थे. भगत सिंह एंड सुखदेव were contemporary freedom fighters. That means both of them were existing in the same time frame and were doing something for the freedom of our nation. They gave their supreme sacrifice also. Anyways, we'll study about them in the modern history. I hope this point is clear. So let's get started with Jainism. Jainism शुरू करते हैं. One more thing, most of you keep asking me, sir, you're only teaching from Tamil Nadu book, you're only teaching from Tamil Nadu book. Please know that, see, these Tirthankars, the detail is not mentioned in Tamil Nadu book. Whatever is relevant, I will update in the videos. All right. And don't ask about book list and all. I have already explained that. Please, once you have watched this video, read the Tamil Nadu textbook. Apart from that, read R.S. Sharma, which is the old NCERT. All right. And there's one more book, Introduction to Fine Arts, which is the 11th class NCERT for art and culture. Don't worry, we will do that at a later stage. I hope now this point is clear to all of you. Now, what should be the strategy? Watch the videos again and again, read these books multiple times. Remember, revision is the key. Instead of reading multiple books and going through multiple resources, no. Keep your resources limited and revise them for multiple times. All right. अब जो जैन धर्म था, द जैनिज्म, इट डजंट हैव अ सिंगल फाउंडर. इसका कोई एक फाउंडर नहीं था. Now different people have come out at different time to reveal the truth. अलग अलग समय पर अलग अलग लोगों ने आकर ज्ञान देने की कोशिश की है. And we have often heard this term Tirthankar, and we have heard that Jainism has 24 तीर्थंकर. What is the meaning of this term तीर्थंकर? तीर्थंकर का मतलब क्या होता है? तीर्थंकर means a teacher who will show us the way of life. In other religions, such a person is called as a prophet. ऑल राइट, ये एक गुरु है जो हमको सिखाते हैं कि जीवन कैसे जीना है. Now, for most of them, we do not have much of the archaeological evidence, but we believe that there are 24 Tirthankars. You don't have to remember the name of all 24 of them. Remember that the first Tirthankar was Rishabhnath or Rishabdev, and the last Tirthankar 24th was Mahavir. सबसे पहले ऋषभदेव थे और 24वें थे महावीर. महावीर के बारे में ही हम पढ़ेंगे इस लेसन में. और तीर्थंकर कोई भगवान का अवतार नहीं थे, ये किताब की भाषा बोल रहा हूं. अगेन डोंट टेक इट पर्सनली. वो एक ऐसी साधारण आत्मा थी. ही वॉज सच एन ऑर्डिनरी सोल बोर्न एज अ ह्यूमन बींग हु हैज अटेन्ड द स्टेट ऑफ अ तीर्थंकर, जिसने गुरु का दर्जा प्राप्त किया था. हाउ? बाय इमेंस प्रैक्टिस, बाय मेडिटेशन. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर. Now, every Tirthankar will try to teach the Jain philosophy, but in a different way, according to the different time in which they were existing. I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now, अब हम समझते हैं ये जो महावीर थे 24वें तीर्थंकर, इनका जीवन कैसा था. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द लाइफ ऑफ वर्धमान महावीरा, who was the 24th तीर्थंकर. Now he was born at Kundagram near Vaishali, all right. And as I told you, he belonged to क्षत्रिय parents, है ना. ये कुंदाग्राम वैशाली के निकट पैदा हुए थे और ये क्षत्रिय क्लैन को बिलोंग करते थे. इनकी शादी यशोदा से हुई थी और इनकी एक बेटी थी. जब इनकी 30 वर्ष की उम्र हुई, when he became of 30 years, he realized that no, this world is not the right place and I need to understand what is the real purpose of life. इस दुनिया का क्या मतलब है, मुझे ये समझना है. और वो एक सन्यासी बन गए. He became a aesthetic. Okay, my pronunciation might be wrong, all right, but don't worry about my English. Focus on gaining knowledge, all right. And he wandered for 12 years, है ना. वो 12 साल तक घूमते रहे. Now in 13th year of his penance, that means of his tapasya, in 13th year he attained the highest spiritual knowledge, which is known as the केवल ज्ञान. उनको केवल ज्ञान की प्राप्ति हुई उनके 13वें वर्ष के इस मेडिटेशन के प्रयास के बाद. आफ्टर दैट he was known as Vardhaman, started to be known as Mahavira or Jina. This means who has a lot of knowledge. His followers were known as Jains, and thus a new religion was formed known as Jainism. He taught for 30 years and then he died at the age of 32 at Pawa near Rajgriha. I hope ये सबको समझ में आ गया. This point is clear to all of you. Now, what were the teachings of Mahavira? वो सिखाना क्या चाहते थे? His 3 principles were 3 Ratna. 3 means 3 and Ratna means gem. The 3 teachings were right faith, सही विश्वास रखो, right knowledge, have the right knowledge, right conduct, your behavior and your way of carrying yourself should be right. It is also explained here that right faith is in the belief and the teachings of Mahavira. वो कहते थे कि मैं आपको जो बता रहा हूं, मैं आपको सही विश्वास दिलाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, उसमें विश्वास रखें. Right knowledge is the acceptance that there is no God. They do not used to believe in God. They said that there is no God, but all objects possess a soul. According to Mahavir, according to Jainism, कोई भगवान नहीं होते हैं, मगर हर ऑब्जेक्ट में, हर चीज में सोल होती है. एवरीथिंग हैज अ सोल. Now, if I talk about right conduct, it has these 5 things what we have to observe. Right conduct में, right behavior में ये 5 चीजें आती हैं कि किसी को भी इंजर नहीं करना है, कभी भी हमें झूठ नहीं बोलना है, कभी भी हमें चोरी नहीं करनी है, हमें प्रॉपर्टी एक्वायर नहीं करनी है, बिकॉज ये यहीं की यहीं रह जाएगी इस दुनिया में. We don't have to injure life, we don't have to lie, we don't have to steal, we don't have to acquire life because after death it will remain here. We should not live life as if it is immoral. हमको ऐसे जीवन नहीं जीना है कि हमारी कभी मौत ही नहीं होगी. Everybody has to die one day. I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now, one more thing is Mahavira was very, very strict. Now, both his disciples, his followers, and laymen, common people, they all have to strictly follow the ahimsa of doctrine of ahimsa. मतलब कोई भी violence नहीं होनी चाहिए. There should be no violence. And he regarded all objects, whether they are living beings or non-living beings, वो जीवित हैं या निर्जीव हैं, everything has got soul and various degree of consciousness. That means you should not even hit a chair, table, stool, anything, because according to him everything has some degree of consciousness. Everything possesses life and feel pain when they are injured. And he straight away rejected the authority of Vedas and rituals. इन्होंने रिजेक्ट कर दिया था वेदास और उनके रिचुअल्स को और कहा था कि नहीं, ये सही तरीका नहीं है. उन्होंने एक एथिकल कोड ऑफ लाइफ दिया था और कहा था कि इसी को फॉलो करना चाहिए. अकॉर्डिंग टू महावीरा इवन एग्रीकल्चर वॉज सिंफुल. खेती करना भी पाप है. वाई? बिकॉज वेन यू आर प्लोइंग द फील्ड you are hurting the earth, you are hurting the insects and animals, so you should not do that also. He believed that you are born in this world to again get rid of this world and reach God, leave this world again. He did not believe in God. आपका जन्म हुआ है इस दुनिया से मुक्ति पाने के लिए, and for that they used to practice till extreme level of tortures, such as they do not used to wear clothes, they used to starve themselves, है ना. So I hope this is clear about teachings of Mahavira. महावीरा की teachings के बारे में आपको clear हुआ होगा. Now Mahavira, he organized his teachings into various sanghatans, organizations, sanghs. He allowed both men and women. That means both men and women were allowed. If you remember, during later Vedic period, the woman status was declining. लेटर वैदिक काल के समय में महिलाओं की पोजीशन डिक्लाइन हो रही थी, लेकिन महावीर जी ने पुरुषों और महिलाओं दोनों को ही संगठन में एडमिट किया, which consisted of both monks and lay followers. So monks had different rules, और जो आम इंसान जो जैनिज्म को फॉलो करना चाहे लेकिन वो भिक्षु नहीं बनना चाहता, वो साधु नहीं बनना चाहता, he or she can also follow it. Now remember that it is because of the hard work of these Sangh people that Jainism was spread very rapidly. It spread up to Karnataka and to the western India also. There were some great rulers जिनके बारे में हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे. We will read about these great rulers later on who patronized Jainism, जिन्होंने Jainism को support किया था. They were like Chandragupta Maurya, है ना, Karavela of Kalinga, and some of the royal dynasties of the South India like Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas. I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now, one important thing is by around 4th century BC, let's say around 400 BC, what happened was there was a serious famine in the Ganga Valley. हमारे देश के नॉर्थ इंडिया में famine आ गई थी. उस टाइम पे चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य, who was the king, along with a monk, Jain monk, whose leader was Bhadrabahu, they started traveling to Karnataka for preaching Jainism. जैन धर्म को लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य और भद्रबाहु, जो कि मॉन्क के एक गुरु थे, वो साउथ की ओर ट्रेवल करने लगे. Now, because of this, what happened? Few monks stayed back in North India. Few monks went to South India. That from here became the Jainism got divided into two sections. Now there were three Jain councils which happened. The first was done at Patliputra, which is present day Patna. This was done by Sthul Bahu, the leader of the Digambars in the beginning of the 3rd century. जो दूसरी जैन काउंसिल हुई थी वो वल्लभी में हुई थी इन दी 5th सेंचुरी एडी। 5th सेंचुरी एडी मतलब 500 एडी के आसपास। एंड फाइनल कंपाइलेशन जो ये जो जैन लिटरेचर का हुआ था, इट वाज डन इन दिस सेकंड जैन काउंसिल, है ना। आई थिंक देर इज सम टेक्स्ट मिसिंग इन दिस पीपीटी, है ना। इफ देर इज सो आई विल अपडेट दैट इन अवर टेलीग्राम चैनल। आई थिंक इस बुक में या फिर इस प्रेजेंटेशन में आई हैव मिस्ड आउट वन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। I will cover that up. All right, don't worry. Please don't worry about that. All right. So in this Jain literature, in the final compilation, these are known as 12 Angas. All right. Now we will start about Buddhism. We read about Jainism. Now let us start understanding about Buddhism. हम Buddhism को समझते हैं. All right. Now his name was Gautam or Siddhartha. Now the founder of Buddhism in 567 BC. He was born in Kapila Vastu in Lumbini Garden. All right. His father was Sudodhana and he was of the Shakya clan, but he too was a Kshatriya, and his mother was Maya Devi. Now, during the time of birth itself, his mother Maya Devi died. जन्म के समय ही सिद्धार्थ की मां की मृत्यु हो जाती है और इनकी आंट प्रजापति गौतमी के द्वारा इनको बड़ा किया जाता है। 16 वर्ष की उम्र में एट द एज ऑफ 16 ही मैरिड यशोधरा एंड ही गेव बर्थ टू अ सन राहुल। मगर क्या होता है कि ये जब अपने किले से बाहर देखते हैं, व्हेन ही लुक्स आउटसाइड हिज फोर्ट ही सीज एन ओल्ड मैन, ही सीज अ डिसीज्ड मैन। वो एक बूढ़े इंसान को देखते हैं, एक बीमार इंसान को देखते हैं। ही सीज अ डेड बॉडी, ही सीज अ एस्थेटिक, एस्थेटिक है ना इसका, अगेन माय प्रोनाउंसिएशन, ऑलराइट। ही सीज समबडी हु इज अ साधु, है ना। ऑल दीज थिंग्स takes him away from this worldly life. He realizes that I have to get rid of this luxurious life and understand what is the purpose of life. मुझे इस आराम की जिंदगी से बाहर निकलना होगा और ये समझना होगा कि ये जन्म का पर्पस क्या है, क्या कारण है इस दुनिया में जन्म लेने का। So he left home at the age of 29 in search of truth. सत्य की खोज में 29 वर्ष की आयु में उन्होंने अपना घर छोड़ दिया। For 7 years he was wandering here and there. He met several teachers but could not get enlightenment. 7 साल तक वो यहाँ वहां भटकते रहे, बहुत गुरुओं से मिले भी, लेकिन उनको ज्ञान की प्राप्ति नहीं हुई। In the end, he sat under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya and he did a lot of penance. उन्होंने बहुत तपस्या की बोधि पेड़ के वृक्ष के नीचे बोध गया में बैठकर। आफ्टर विच एट द एज ऑफ 35, 35 वर्ष की उम्र में उनको इनलाइटनमेंट या निर्वाणा की प्राप्ति हुई। आफ्टर दैट गौतम वॉज नोन एज बुद्धा, यानी कि बुद्धिमान। आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू। ही गेव हिज फर्स्ट सरमन और फर्स्ट डिलीवरी ऑफ हिज टीचिंग्स, अपना पहले ज्ञान का उपदेश उन्होंने सारनाथ में दिया। ही गेव हिज फर्स्ट सरमन एट सारनाथ विच इज नियर बनारस एंड फॉर नेक्स्ट 45 years he led the life of a preacher. He died at the age of 80 years near खुशीनगर। 80 वर्ष की उम्र में खुशीनगर में इनकी मृत्यु हो जाती है। I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now, these are the names of the important disciples of Buddha. Okay, you guys can read that. Sariputta, Moggallana, Ananda, Kassapa, Upali, है ना? You guys can, sometimes very rarely it might be asked ki which of the following is was not a disciple of Buddha. And generally these questions are asked in SSC, CGL bank exams, CDS exams, CAPF exams. All right. Now there were some great kings. We'll study about these kings such as Prasenjit, Bimbisara, Ajazshatru of Magad Empire. We'll study about Sola Janpadas in the next chapter. All right. So these were the kings who patronized बुद्धा और बुद्धिज्म। ये वो किंग्स थे जिन्होंने बुद्धिज्म को अपनाया था। नाउ इन हिज लाइफ टाइम बुद्धा वॉज ट्रेवलिंग इन द नॉर्थ इंडिया एंड ही विजिटेड वेरियस प्लेसेस सच एज बनारस, राजगृह, श्रावस्ती, वैशाली, नालंदा, पाटलीग्राम। पाटलीग्राम इज पाटलिपुत्र विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज पटना। Now, one thing, what I feel, and I was thinking, I'm not sure whether you guys are thinking or not, कि जो गौतम बुद्ध थे और महावीर थे वो कंटेम्परेरी थे। Gautam Buddha and Mahavira were contemporary. They were traveling in North India. But I don't know why they never met each other. आप लोगों ने कभी ये सोचा है कि वो एक दूसरे से कभी मिले क्यों नहीं? है ना? I really don't know. But I was thinking about this कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ? They were traveling in the, let's say, you know about X Coaching Academy, which is teaching in Y city, and there is one more coaching academy Z, which is also teaching in Y city. So both of them will come to know about each other, right? अगर दो कोचिंग अकेडमी एक ही शहर में चल रही तो दोनों को एक दूसरे के बारे में पता होगा, अगर दोनों अच्छा ज्ञान देते हैं तो. सेम वे बोथ गौतम बुद्धा and Mahavira, they were preaching their ideas during the same time in the same place. But I don't know why they never met each other. Or maybe they met each other तो शायद उन्होंने बोला हो कि चलो भाई आप भी अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, मैं भी अच्छा काम करते हैं, लेट्स कंटिन्यू. आई डोंट नो. I was just, this thing was coming in my mind. Anyways, now remember one thing. Mahavira was saying that he was directly attacking the वैदिक रिचुअल्स. महावीर जो थे वो डायरेक्टली वैदिक रिचुअल्स को अटैक करते थे. वो बोलते थे कि भगवान नहीं होते हैं, आपको अगर मोक्ष की प्राप्ति करनी है तो आपको ऐसा करना पड़ेगा. लेकिन बुद्धिज्म में क्या था, वो भगवान है कि नहीं है, आत्मा क्या है, ये सब चीजों में, इन सब बातों में वो बात करना पसंद ही नहीं करते थे. वो ये बोलते थे एक इंसान की समस्याएं हैं, उसके हमको प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन निकालने हैं. ही वॉज अ वेरी वेरी प्रैक्टिकल पर्सन. आई होप दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. एंड he gave four noble truths according to him, है ना. इनके four noble truths थे. ये कहते थे कि ये दुनिया में बहुत सफरिंग्स है. ये सफरिंग का कारण है डिजायर. दिस एंटायर वर्ल्ड इज फुल ऑफ सफरिंग्स, एंड द बिगेस्ट रीजन इज डिजायर, बिकॉज people have endless desires. I want this, I want that in my life. If somebody gets also something, then they get one more desire. Let's say somebody wants a car, then next they will want a higher range car. If somebody buys a home, they will plan for one more home. If you guys are preparing for UPSC, once you will crack UPSC, you will start aiming for your promotions. I'm not saying all of you, again, don't take it personally, but desire is the cause of suffering according to Buddha. If you have to get rid of these desires, sufferings have to be removed. अगर आपको इन इच्छाओं से दूर भागना है तो आपको सफरिंग्स को खत्म करना होगा. या I should say, है ना, this sentence has been wrongly framed in the book. How it should be: if you want to get rid of the sufferings, if you want to get rid of suffering, अगर आपको सफरिंग से छुटकारा चाहिए, then you have to get over your desires. आपको अपनी इच्छाओं पर काबू पाना होगा. How it can be done? कैसे हो सकता है ये? By following the following eightfold paths. Right view, सही दृष्टि से देखना. Right resolve, solve the things rightly. Right speech, सही बोलना. Right behavior, right conduct. राइट लाइवलीहुड, सही जीवन जीना. राइट एफर्ट्स, सही मेहनत करना, हार्ड वर्क करना. राइट माइंडफुलनेस, बी कॉन्शियस अबाउट योर सेल्फ. राइट, don't contribute yourself into meaningless discussions. Right concentration, don't get distracted. All right, तो ये थी टीचिंग्स बुद्धा की. He never said भगवान है कि नहीं है, या he never accepted or rejected God. His focus was not on that. His emphasis was on karma. He said that man has a problem, man and woman have a problem, and that should have a solution. He also said that don't say that my life is bad because of my past birth, this and that. No, because of your own deeds. Your life depends upon your own deeds. जैसा काम करोगे वैसा ही फल मिलेगा. He said that the soul does not exist. इस बारे में वो ज्यादा बात नहीं करना चाहते थे. But he emphasized on ahimsa. वो बोलते थे कि वॉयलेंस नहीं होनी चाहिए. He did not believe in violence. He said that we should love every creature on this planet. He used to win everybody. He has never ever shown anger or hatred. Instead, with his love, he has won everybody. And thus, his religion is compared with morality and purity of thoughts. One very, very important thing is, if you look at all these things, he has not made a direct attack on the caste system, but he said that according to him, everybody is equal. There is no distinction. So that is why we can conclude that Buddhism was mainly not a religious revolution. वो एक धर्म नहीं बनाना चाहते थे. It was more of a social transformation. वो एक ऐसा सामाजिक परिवर्तन लाना चाहते थे कि लोग सब बराबर हो जाए, लोग अपनी प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करना शुरू करें और लोग अपने जीवन में खुशी से रहें और सही विचारों से आगे बढ़ें. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. Now, in Buddhism also, there were two people. One who became their sadhus, known as monks, and the other were lay worshippers. That they were engaged in their other activities in the world, but they followed or patronized Buddhism. एक वो थे जो साधु बनकर बौद्ध धर्म अपनाया था, और एक वो थे जो अपने अपने जीवन में ही लगे रहे, लेकिन उन्होंने इसको अपना लिया. They also organized themselves into Sangh for teaching. Now, here also the membership was open to both male and female without any caste restrictions. That was good. Now, but there was a special code for nuns for their residence and movement because they wanted women to be safe. इसलिए जो उनकी महिलाएं उनको ज्वाइन करती थी, उनके मूवमेंट, जब वो एक स्थान पे से दूसरे स्थान पे ट्रेवल करते थे टीचिंग्स देने के लिए, तो उनके कुछ रूल्स डिफाइंड थे. डोंट गेट इनटू द डिटेल्स ऑफ दोज रूल्स, ताकि वो सेफ रहें. ऑल राइट. नाउ दीज वेर सारिपुत्ता, मोगलानंद, दे वेर सम ऑफ द फेमस मॉन्क्स. ऑल राइट. इनके संघ जो थे वो डेमोक्रेटिक लाइंस पर थे. डेमोक्रेटिक लाइंस पर मतलब कुछ एक रूल्स बने थे. रूल्स वेर फॉर्म्ड एंड एवरीबडी वाज सपोज्ड टू फॉलो देम. All right, so it was a disciplined sangathan or organization, and it was due to the efforts of these sangh that in the North India during Buddha's life itself it spread rapidly in North India. Now in Magad, Koshala, Koshambi, it spread into various states of the North India. Now once Buddha died after 200 years, even the great king Ashoka, he also embraced Buddhism. Now he even spread the Buddhism to Western Asia and Ceylon. All right. When we will study about Ashoka the Great, we will study in detail how he, what all he did, what all he conquered, how he realized that he was doing wrong, and how he accepted Buddhism. So thus, with the help of this Ashoka and his Buddha's teachings, this local religious, or rather I should say, this social transformation was converted into a world religion. Now here also many councils were organized. All right. So immediately once the Buddha was he passed away, so the first council was done at Rajgriha under the chairmanship of Mahakasapa. All right. Now why this council was done? So that ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not happen that whatever teachings Buddha has taught, it should be lost. So they should be documented. All right, it was just to maintain the purity of teachings of the Buddha. The second council was done at Vaishali in 383 BC. The third was done under the King Ashoka, and Mogaliputta Tissa, he presided over this council. Now Triptakas, okay, this was completed in this council. Now these are the Granth, you can say, or the books of the Buddhism. The fourth council was convened in Kashmir by King Kanishka under the chairmanship of Vasumitra. Ashwaghosh also participated in this council. All right. As I told you, there were three Triptakas. They were Sutpitaka, Vinay Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. तो ये थी उनकी ग्रंथ किताबें या टेक्स्ट जो लिखे गए थे. Now what happened was, a new school of Buddhism also started, Mahayana Buddhism. Now the old Buddhism, which was the original Buddhism, which was propagated by Ashoka, was known as Hinayana. Now you guys might be thinking, in Jainism also this happened, that Shwetambar was there and Digambars were there. यहाँ पे भी ऐसा हो रहा है that Mahayana came up, Hinayan was already there. Why this is happening? This is because whenever, okay, I will give you guys an example. Right now, I am teaching you guys on UPSC Digital Library. All right. Now, let's say tomorrow I die, and my next generation will teach on UPSC Digital Library. And let's say I have two kids, for example. Now, first of all, they will not be able to teach in the way I am teaching because I have my own visions and thoughts. Okay, this is not ego, this is not a comparison. I am saying जो इंसान भी जिस चीज को शुरू करता है, an individual who starts something will have his own vision and thoughts. Now these two kids will have their own line of thought. It might happen that he or she may feel different, he or she may feel different. and then they may think that let us divide UPSC Digital Library, and one will become UPSC Digital Academy and one will become UPSC Digital Library. I hope this point is clear. Same way, one new section of Buddhism emerged out. I hope this point is clear. These original texts, what you see here, were written in Pali language. Why Pali language? Because during later Vedic period, later Vedic काल के समय में संस्कृत में टेक्स्ट लिखे थे, वो लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता था, लोगों की भाषा थी पाली. This was the language used by the common people, and hence these texts were written in Pali language so that more and more people can understand this. जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड क्विक रिवीजन, आपके सहूलियत के लिए मैंने जल्दी से एक टेबल बना दी थी महायान और हिनयान के लिए. ये था ओल्ड फॉर्म और ओरिजिनल फॉर्म. महायान वाज द न्यू फॉर्म और द न्यू फॉर्म. ऑलराइट, अब दिस न्यू फॉर्म, दिस इज फाउंड इन चाइना, Korea, Japan, and Tibet. The old form, this is in India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos. All right. So in Hinayan, that is the original one, they consider Gautam Buddha as an ordinary human being who attained nirvana and taught. In हिनयान को जो मानते हैं उनका यह मानना था कि गौतम बुद्ध एक आम इंसान थे जिन्होंने मेहनत करके ज्ञान की प्राप्ति की. इन महायान दे बिलीव दैट गौतम बुद्ध वॉज अ डिवाइन, वो एक भगवान का अवतार थे. आर यू गाइज एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दीज टू? ऑल राइट. नाउ हिनयान वॉज द ओल्ड फॉर्म, सो इट वॉज रिटन इन पाली. इसका रीजन ही यही था. हिनयान बुद्धिज्म emerged itself as a reaction to the Brahman to the Brahmanism what was emerging during the later Vedic period. लेटर वैदिक काल के समय में जो ब्राह्मण्स और क्षत्रिय का दबदबा था और जो राइट्स एंड रिचुअल्स थे उसी के अगेंस्ट पाली लैंग्वेज में, लोगों की भाषा में हीनयान बुद्धिज्म को लिखा गया था. द न्यू महायान बुद्धिज्म, नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड, these people started feeling no, Sanskrit is a language of elite people, just how people start feeling that English is a very elite language. No, see, whether you know English, whether you know Hindi, whether you know any language, you should be able to communicate with people. If you're not able to communicate, then it's not good. All right, so they started writing in Sanskrit. I hope this is clear. What were the causes of decline of Buddhism in India? The biggest reason was again the revival of Brahmanism. Now the Brahmanism declined and Buddhism expanded. Brahmanism के रिचुअल्स के कारण ही बुद्धिज्म का जन्म हुआ था और फिर से ब्राह्मणिज्म बढ़ने लग गया था. All right. This led to the fall of popularity of Buddhism. Buddhism was becoming less and less popular. Now earlier Pali language was used, which was understood by majority of people. But later on, these new Buddhists, the Mahayan Buddhists, they started adopting Sanskrit, the language of the elite. ये जो नए बुद्धिस्ट आए थे, महायान बुद्धिस्ट, वो उन्होंने संस्कृत भाषा को अडॉप्ट करना शुरू कर दिया था, एलीट भाषा का. तो सबको लगा जब आप भी संस्कृत बोल रहे हो, ब्राह्मण में भी संस्कृत भाषा, then we should go back to Brahmins. You are getting my point. I hope this is clear. Moreover, after this Mahayan Buddhism, they started feeling that Gautam Buddha was a divine. वो भगवान का अवतार थे. That is why they started idol worship and offerings. Then there was no difference between Hinduism and Buddhism, and then hence its decline. Moreover, we were invaded or attacked by Turkish people and Huns in 5th and 6th centuries also. During that time, they destroyed 5th and 6th century for Huns and 12th century for Turkish. During that time, they destroyed a lot of monasteries. This also led to the decline of Buddhism. These were the factors. Now, one question might be coming to you, sir, you have not taught us about the stupa. Please don't worry. When we will read about art and culture, we will study about them as well. All right. So Buddhism has made a remarkable contribution, guys. Great contribution. Our India got independence because we practiced non-violence, and this concept of ahimsa we derived from Buddhism. Now in terms of art and architecture also, these stupa, all right, at Sanchi, Bharut, Gaya, they are wonderful pieces of architecture. All right. And this Chaityas, Viharas, these were the places where Buddhist monks were staying. Don't worry, we'll cover them in the art and culture. So they also have made a remarkable historical development in our country. Moreover, these universities such as Takshila, Nalanda, Vikramshila, they promoted education through these residential universities. इन universities के through उन्होंने ज्ञान बांटने की कोशिश की and they have played a great contribution. They expanded the role of Pali language and local languages because जब बुद्धिज्म का जन्म हुआ था, when this religion was born, they were teaching in the common language Pali and other local languages so that everybody can understand. All right. And because of the help of Ashoka and other great leaders, our Indian culture was spread to other parts of Asia also. And as we all know, that Buddhism is spread to various countries. I hope this chapter was helpful to all of you. Please, everybody, please be sincere. Please be consistent. And I have made my Telegram channel private so that fake people cannot join over there. I'm seeing very fake IDs joining over here. So if you guys want to join, you guys can ping me in Instagram and you guys can show me your ID proof so that I am sure and I can add you to our Telegram channel. Please do follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Please study very sincerely. All right, I don't take any fees, है ना? We and even I am also at learning stage. हम सब सीख रहे हैं and there are a few things that I tell you. There are a few things that I learned from you all. So together we will make this platform a very beautiful platform. And if you know your friends who cannot afford high coaching fees, please bring them to our YouTube platform UPSC Digital Library so that we can help maximum people. Thank you everyone for watching. God bless you.